Well, we're going to be talking about the warning signs that David Wilkerson gave to America.
Yes.
Well, what is incredible about these warning signs is they actually match up with the judgments of God that God poured out on Israel. Because you see, Israel was a covenant nation with God, and America is like Israel's cousin. We are also a covenant. We were founded on a covenant with God. And when Israel broke covenant, then God referred to Israel as the harlot. It was like the bride that just turned around and cheated behind God's back. And God poured out judgments, and 4 of these judgments was famine, destruction, invasion, and captivity. Well, I'll tell you, God continues to open up the words that were given to David Wilkerson. And one of the things that the Lord showed me just a week ago, I think it's one of the reasons Jim asked me to come back here, is because the 4 warning signs literally match up with the judgments that God poured out on Israel. God is getting ready to pour out those judgments on America. And I'm not going to get into the full detail, because the first warning sign, the oil fields burning in the Middle East, that was literally pointing to what was coming to America, smoke and burning. I mean, as I open up the book and I share it word for word, you'll see it. It's right there. But then when it went into the 3 next warning signs, the first one was talking about famine. No, actually, the judgment on Israel was famine, and the famine in America is going to come as a result of the crashing of our financial system. Because you see, right now we're seeing drought. I said all that to get back to your question. We're seeing drought in different parts of the country. In fact, they're saying that the droughts that are in California are spreading into other states. And California's been a major part of our breadbasket. Well, because we have a strong dollar, surprisingly, that I don't see lasting very much longer, but we're buying the food to make up for the losses in California down in South America. Well, the first judgment that Dave Wilkerson says coming to America is economic judgment. And when our dollar dies, we will see the famine judgment.
So he's saying that's what kicks it off? That's going to be, I mean, God's judging us already.
Yes.
But this is going to be the major thing.
Of the 3 big judgments that David Wilkerson predicted, he plainly said the first will be an economic
Now, Rabbi
crash.
is saying he thinks September 13 is a date to watch, which is that end of the Shemitah year, and we've had a horrific crash, 7 years before, 2008, and then 7 years before that, 9/11, 2001. The worst crashes, the 2 worst crashes, as amount-wise, happened, and even you go back to the Great Depression, happened on Elul 29 and all this.
And yet this one is like the 7th 7. It's the 4 blood moons. I mean, everything is lining up. What's happening in Israel, that's a bigger sign than the blood moons as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So when we see the economic collapse, the prophecy will be fulfilled that says that a quart of wheat will be a day's wages, a loaf of bread will be a day's wages. We're literally going into the period of time where this could happen, and this is why I keep saying, if you're of the ones that say, well, I'm just going to wait and see what happens, if you wait until you see it, it's too late.